What's up, YouTube? Today we're looking at another Open Great League team, and it is my legend team from last season. I don't think I ever actually showcased it on this channel, um, but it isn't the team that I went 24-1 with early on in the season, but it's similar. I found that I actually needed Dunsparce on the lead because of what I was seeing in the lead. I was seeing a lot of Alolan Sandslash leads. I was seeing a lot of Talonflame leads, some Jumpluff leads. So basically, I was like, all right, I need something that's kind of decent. And all those Dunsparce kind of fit that bill. It's just got great coverage, and you can see in these matchups how neutral it is. It has great play just kind of across the board, and that's what makes it such a good safe swap. But we're also using it on the lead in this match. And then it's got only one weakness, and that weakness is fighting. So we're pairing it with two Pokemon in the back who are obviously good against fighters. Um, and that was Malamar as the safe switch. I think Malamar works really well as a safe switch, and it's kind of the highlight of this video because of how strong it is. And then we've got Jumpluff in the back. So very similar to that team, but just a little bit different with Malamar instead of Feraligatr, and then switching the order. Yeah, that being said, I guess let's hop right into the matches. Okay, so right away, Wiggly. This is a pretty neutral lead. We're just going to stay in this matchup. I believe we lose the ones if they shield the first. So we're just going to farm up, go for the Drill Run. Drill Run is better damage per energy than Rock Slide. And then they do CMP Tiles on the next move. This could be an Icy Wind. And they have lowered our attack now, but we've already landed one, so this will just about KO. It puts them deep in the red, and look at that, they actually win the zeros as well with the Icy Wind debuff. Then we're just going to come in with Jumpluff, get the full Fairy Wind farm down, and then it's Drifblim in the back. So I'm going to farm up to a potential Acrobatics and bait like I have it, and then just go for the Aerial Ace. They do call it once again. This time I am going to shield and then reset the debuff onto my Malamar. And then they have a Gastrodon in the back. So alignment would have been huge here. That being said, we still have some pretty neutral play with our Malamar in this match. They are either back-to-back Body Slams or an Earth Power, and they do full send the Earth Power, unfortunately. But at this point, I'm just going to go Aerial Ace because I'm not threatened by these Mud Slaps, and they are energy dry. So this allows me to get a full Fairy Wind farm down. And they're not quite at the Icy Wind yet, so I can start spamming out these Aerial Aces. We actually grab a shield with the first. This will put them deep in the red. The second one, oh no, they have two shields. And so they shield that up. I have a shield, so obviously I have to use it here. You gotta farm up, throwing in good timing, just maximizing that fast move pressure, getting off this Aerial Ace, and even though we're debuffed, we are still able to get the KO. And even though we didn't have alignment, we were able to take that win, even with shield disadvantage. So, okay, so bad matchup. This is where we come Malamar as our safe switch. They're staying in. I believe they do farm up to a close combat, or it might have just been the Rage Fist. They throw the Rage Fist, either way, we call it. And then they come in with Toxapex, so they obviously don't have a great answer in Malamar. So this tells me that the third Pokemon is also probably pretty weak to Malamar. Will I let this go is the question. Yes, I will. I'm actually survive on 1 HP. Brian is such a bad move. Oh my god. Get off this foul play. That does some pretty good chip, and then we can just come in with Dunsparce. And I think I'm just going to go for the full rollout down. Even if we have to take a Sludge Wave here, we know our Dunsparce doesn't have play into their lead, so there's no point in shielding. And it's tanky. So we're just going to come in, get the full rollout down, and then we have so much energy, so we're just going to blind throw the Drill Run. It was Diggersby in the back. So they probably should have come in Diggersby. Superpower is super effective, but it forces me to throw a debuff move. Then we come in with Jumpluff, and Jumpluff has a great matchup into both the Primeape and the Diggersby. We're probably going to no shield the first because Fire Punch is more threatening than a non-boosted Rage Fist. And at this point, we can just take this out with the Aerial Ace before they get to the next one. And then they double shield. So I don't know if they have Ice Punch or what, um, but they just throw another Rage Fist, and at this point, I can't get the full farm down, so I actually catch a double resisted Rage Fist onto my Dunsparce, which is huge, and then I'm able to get a Drill Run off as well because it does not take out. They have no energy on their Primeape, so I basically can just throw it as soon as I get it here in this matchup. They have no shield, so just throwing the energy ball doesn't quite take out, but if the Fairy Winds will be able to KO. Will shield. They are at the back-to-back fire punches. Oh, they actually throw in Hyper Beam, so they're going for the Hail Mary win con there. I respect it, but fortunately we did shield that up and we take the win. Talonflame in the lead, right? So this is the Pokemon that we were seeing everywhere, and then they come in with a Clodsire. Looking back on this matchup, I think next time I want to throw that Drill Run as soon as I get it, because throwing it as soon as you get it is actually on good timing because of the one turn on the switch. And this is actually not a great matchup if you are stuck in the rollout. I got somehow stuck in 2 rollouts, whereas I just wanted to throw the one, and it looks like I'm still not able to get the full farm down, so I'm going to have to throw a move here. So they were actually able to grab a shield advantage in that matchup. But we will get some solid chip with the foul play on this Talonflame. But they will come out with a lot of energy, which is pretty unfortunate. They bank the move, and then they come in with Azu. And Azu is also not a great matchup. We are the non-shadow, so we can tank. Well, both can tank an Ice Beam, double super effective. And they actually throw a Play Rough. So that clues me into the fact that they actually might be on Play Rough Hydro, which is actually huge for us here because that means we can probably survive 2 moves here. But I don't even try. I just go for the Energy Ball, and then I go for the Undercharge, but it was unsuccessful. We just need to basically start grabbing shields here. We will probably get to another one, but we come in with the Dunsparce. Looks like I went for a rollout, a Rock Slide there, but it didn't register, so I go for the extra rollout. And maybe that's a good thing. They do Flame Charge, so if this is Brave Bird, this will just about KO. Fortunately, it is just a fly, and we are able to get the rollout down and take the win. So, a couple different win cons in that matchup, but we were able to take it. Typhlosion will lead on the next match, and they're staying in. No, then they switch into Diggersby. We have a great response in Jumpluff. We know that it takes 3, I think, non-stab fire punches, maybe 4 if without the quick attack damage. Not sure, but this is a matchup we can comfortably take, especially if they no shield the energy ball. You don't want to bait here unless you absolutely think that they're gonna shield flip switch like they need to, and because we do outpace here by 1 singular turn, and this will KO if they let it through, which they do. And then I wouldn't be so, yeah, so you can see I'm queuing up the switch in a Malamar. That's because I do not want them to get the farm down. And then they come in with Serperior, which is massive because that means we keep alignment, and they don't get the full Incinerate farm down. And at this point, I'm just going to stay in this matchup, go for the foul plays. And then I think I accidentally overfarm by a little bit too much there, expecting them to be 1 turn. I guess I miscounted by 1 turn, basically is what I'm saying. And I will get off this foul play to potentially take them out. And I do. They're serving 2 shields for the Typhlosion. You could argue I should have gone for Superpower here because I think I would have been able to make 2 Superpowers. I come in with Dunsparce. I'm going to shield a Blast Burn here. I think they're at the back-to-back. They bait with a Thunder Punch. I may as well grab this last shield. I think I'm pretty close to a move on my Malamar and my Jumpluff. So even if this does KO, this does mean that there'll be Energy Dry at this point. They were kind of forced to KO there because the rollouts are doing so much damage. And we are able to make it to an Aerial Ace and 4 Fairy Winds and take that game. Okay, into the next match, Jumpluff lead. So this is another great lead for Dunsparce. It's actually not as great as you would expect. Like, they can play out this matchup. They go for a Rock Slide catch onto a Steelix. And at this point, I'm just going to stay in. They're on Thunderfang. So this is just like, this is a fine matchup for us. It looks like it will take 3 drill runs, unfortunately, to take them out because they are the non-shadow. That being said, Crunch does absolutely nothing to Dunsparce. That is crazy. And we are going to take the switch. Are they going to come back in with Jumpluff is the question. If they do, I'm just going to throw the Rock Slide as soon as I get it. Not on great timing, but that's fine because we just want to get this chip damage. And then we're just going to kind of force them to throw a move here. I realize will not take out, so they'll have to go Energy Ball. And they do. But at this point, even though they have an energy lead, we can just match with Jumpluff because we have such a health advantage. And they will get off the Aerial Ace. I believe they'll get to 1 more before I get to my move, which they do. But that's fine because that puts us pretty much at health parity. And I now have an Aerial Ace loaded. And then they come in with Stunfisk. So I'm just going to get off this Energy Ball. This will do massive super effective damage if they let it go, which they don't, but we are able to grab the shield. I'm going to come in with Malamar. Now we're just going to kind of put on that fast move pressure. They're already at the back-to-back Mud Bombs. I kind of have to let this go. And then I'm just going to go for this, the foul play right before they make it to their next move, which I do. And they throw their move right away. So they're energy dry at this point. So I'm pretty comfortable letting this go because Thundersharks are neutral, but they just don't do too much damage. And I accidentally played to a CMP tie, which is not great. But I think that means, that means it's just a Mud Bomb. I could have let that go. It is triple resisted on Jumpluff, but fortunately for me, they let that go. And now I just need to make it to 2 Aerial Aces before they make it to 2 Aerial Aces. Because Fairy Wind obviously doesn't have too much fast move pressure, even though it did get buffed this season. They shield, but we're at the back-to-back, and it looks like we won CMP. So they had just gotten to the back-to-back. So we were able to take that game by pretty much like 2 turns there. Okay, Malamar in the lead. This is a negative matchup, if you saw it in the matchups. However, a lot of Malamars do not like to debuff themselves right away. So I often call the bait on the first one, and they do just go foul play, which means I actually outpace to the back-to-back, I believe. And so we will throw the double drill run. This won't quite KO, but if they have a high rank Malamar, but they do shield it, and it looks like they have a pretty low CP, so they might not have a high rank Malamar. And this does force them to throw their energy, but they aren't debuffed, but we can just come in with the Jumpluff, eat any moves here. I don't really want to use any shields because the whole reason we took the loss in that first match is because we wanted to come out with a shield advantage. What's in the back? It is a Toxapex. We hold on to our energy, and it's a Diggersby in the back. So I saw this team, like, oh my god, probably in like over 50% of the matches. That being said, I know Malamar is kind of my win con here, so I'm just going to double shield it. And now I'm just going to go for the superpower because this will KO. Unfortunately, this will debuff my Psywaves. So I probably will just throw a foul play here just to burn the switch timer and then come in with Jumpluff and get off that energy ball. And at this point, I will make it to a second energy ball as well if they do not throw a Sludge Wave. So I'm going to force, they throw on great timing, one before I get to my next move. And unfortunately, they bait with a Brine. But that will allow them to get a pretty nice Poison Jab farm down here, but I think I will make it to an Aerial Ace, which I do. And at this point, they're not going to make it to two moves before they get Psywave down. So my opponent knows that, and they resign the match. I believe there's a loss in here to that pretty much same team, but oh my god, here we go. So Malamar in the lead. Malamar absolutely everywhere today, even on our own team. But we're going to do the same thing, farm to the back-to-back and then throw. If you farm into the back-to-back drill runs, they're making it to double superpower at exactly the same time. So if they do full send the superpower, then your drill run will do a lot of damage because they will have just debuffed their defense. So that's when I like to throw it. And if they throw a foul play, then you outpace, which means you can get to the drill run. And this one actually lets it go. So this one I will shield because I actually want switch advantage if they have the Diggersby Toxapex core in the back, which they do. So we may as well just get some chip damage off before we get taken out, and then we'll just come in with our Jumpluff right away. And they actually throw right before we make it to the next move, which is fine. Obviously not going to shield anything in the Jumpluff matchup, just going to take it real low. Looks like I did get one turn switch. No, looks like that was just a visual glitch. That's good. They're going to get off the Fire Punch. I believe they're already at back-to-back, but they are farming up and continuing to farm. And they shield. I had really considered baiting there, but I don't. And I think that is actually going to cost me this matchup. I think I can survive one more, and then I'm going to expect a snipe with the Toxapex, so I'm queuing up the switch. Fortunately, I do get that right. And we do bank the energy on the Jumpluff, but I basically need to get this real low, and I need to call a brine bait. Do I shield or do I not? Oh, I last second shield, and they do brine, which means, yeah, there's pretty much no way of making it out of this matchup at this point, because even though I have almost an energy ball loaded on my Jumpluff, and even though we do grab both shields, and even though I click the superpower and lose CMP, we are probably going to lose this game. Yeah, because an Aerial Ace will not take out, and we are not going to get to another before they make it to their move. So unfortunately, we do lose that team this time. But in the next match, we see a Manabuzz in the lead. This is a pretty good matchup. And then they come in with Morpeko. So they're extremely weak to Fairy already. I guess they do not believe Wigglytuff exists. But this, unfortunately, is our best match. So we are just going to stay in this matchup and try and grab 2 shields. They do throw the Psychic Fangs, yeah, because we are in Psychic Fangs range, especially with their attack boosted. But we can still afford to throw in good timing here and get off a move. And they swip and they shield that, and then I come in with Jumpluff. I don't know if that's the right play. Obviously, Fairy Winds are super effective, and we can tank a move. However, if we just came in with Malamar, we could just get to the superpower, shield 1 to get to the superpower. But it looks like this did work out. We got the Fell Fairy Wind down. And then they come back in with a Manabuzz, which now our Dunsparce is super low, so it's going to be really hard to work out this matchup. They do throw the Aerial Ace. I have to come Malamar. It's kind of the only Pokemon I've got left. Gotta let this go. And then probably just go for the superpower and then try and get a catch onto Dunsparce. That's kind of the only thing I can imagine would work. And unfortunately, we don't get the catch. And then they have a Chestnut in the back, which would have been awful for my Dunsparce if they had gotten switched. And at this point, they were just basically farming up to the back-to-back, forcing me to throw my energy, which they do. Foul Play probably wouldn't take out from that range, so I'm forced to go to the superpower, which lowers my attack. And they throw the Aerial Ace, and now they are at the move, so I'm forced to throw my superpower. I don't think it'll take out from this range, not even close. And they're at the move, so they will KO me, and my opponent takes the win. So yeah, that was just kind of not really having an answer to Morpeko in the back, but my opponent sees one Fairy and they lose. But into the next match, we've got a Feraligatr on the lead. This is a pretty good matchup, especially in the non-shadow, because 2 Hydro Cannons don't KO, plus the Shadow Claws. However, the 1 Drill Run plus the Rollout also doesn't KO, so you are forced to go for 2 moves here, and they do outpace by like 1 turn. But that doesn't KO, and we can take switch here if they decide to no shield. And if they decide to shield, I think we can actually make it to another move because Shadow Claws are double resisted. And we grab switch actually, and we can align our Jumpluff onto the Gastrodon there, and then our Malamar on the Drifblim. So we have switch advantage, which is absolutely huge, it looks like, in this matchup. Even though we've played out of this before. I'm probably just going to match shields here. Because I think I do have the pacing advantage, because obviously they are on Astonish. And we just barely outpace to the foul play. They double shield, so that's pretty interesting. And then they're going to throw. I am going to shield this, and then what? Instant switch into my jump bluff? Yeah, so I instant switch, expecting them to go for a mud slap, snipe. Unfortunately, I hold on to that energy, and they're on Oath. It looks like my opponent might be on Water Pulse plus Earth Power, so that's pretty unfortunate for my opponent. Energy Ball will KO. I'm at the Aerial Ace. Throwing on good timing, because if they threw their energy, then I would just come in with Malamar and win. And we get the Fairy Wind down, and we're able to take that win. Okay, into what I believe might be the last match of the video. We got a Skarmory on the lead, or maybe second to last. But this is a pretty neutral matchup. Obviously, neither of our Pokemon in the back really want to see it. Malamar would do okay, just because both of its charge moves are neutral. But Psywave is resisted, and the Psywave pressure is a lot of where Malamar's strength come from. And they just go for a Brave Bird and dip. And so we're just going to go for the Drill Run, and then probably come... Ooh. Okay, so yeah, we come in with Malamar on... because they no-shielded the Drill Run. Because we know we can get the Psywave down and survive one close combat, and then we come out with a move loaded. So we can actually get off the superpower on the Skarmory. Had they shielded that, we would have come in with Jump Bluff. And then they have Morpeko in the back. So I'm kind of forced to come in with my Jump Bluff here. I have to no-shield the first Aura Wheel. And obviously they're going to transform. I think I just go straight Aerial Ace here. An Aerial Ace bait after farming up to the Energy Ball. And they do shield, which is nice. But then I just go for Aerial Ace right away, which I don't think is the right play. Because if they let that go, yeah, which they do, then I don't know if there's a win con left. We might be able to get the rollout farm down. They go for a Psychic Fangs, and then we bank that. We get 2 rollouts through, which is huge. They just go for another Psychic Fangs, but at this point I think they're energy dry. But we are still going to try and grab that last shield. We do grab the last shield. Can we get the rollout down? No. Is this a Psychic Fangs or is it the Aura Wheel is the question. It is the Aura Wheel, and the Fairy Wind should KO, and we're able to take that game. So yeah, that is this is my Legend team. I honestly played pretty poorly in a lot of these matchups, and the team still went 8-2, I believe it was. I've got a very cool team that I'm excited to showcase next, which I've had an unbelievable win rate with, like absolutely unbelievable. So stay tuned for that video. That team, it's super soft to like 2 specific Pokemon that aren't too common in the meta. But if you do not see this Pokemon, this team is so good. So look forward to that video in the future. But in terms of this video, you can see kind of how it plays out. The only real core breaker for this team, I would say, is Pangoro on the lead. Obviously, it single resists the Psywave, and it hits super effective on Dunsparce. I come in Malamar in that matchup either way, because you can threaten a KO with a superpower. So you kind of play it out the same as you would with any fighter on the lead. Otherwise, you're pretty much staying in with Dunsparce, playing out the lead, grabbing either a shield or switch advantage, and then going from there. So yeah, that is the team. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have success with it. It did take me to Legend last season. Obviously, it's early in the season. We're not pushing Legend yet, but a lot of people are running real try-hard teams now. And even though I'm not seeing all the same leans I was at the end of last season, the team still functioned really well. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, peace.